Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this particular video. We've got the Air Jordan 12 playoffs, and it's the first on court. So let's jump right into things. Let's not waste any time. So let's set up the context for this Air Jordan 12 and the usage that went into it. This is not a performance review. This is just sharing the experience, playing in it for the first two times. So Friday night, we played, what was that? That was 8 games, and each of those were 6 minutes as usual. And for whatever reason, I played again last night with the same crew on the same court, and I'm not too sure why, but they bumped that one up to 8 minutes, and that one we played 7 games. So yeah, there was a lot of usage, a lot of playing, especially for myself because I'm not in great shape. But it was just a great testing ground, to work in an old 90s shoe. I've worn these shoes a lot around the house, just casually around the house, trying to soften them up. But that's nothing, that never really compares to lacing them up proper and actually running around up and down the court. So once I laced them up at the gym, I was happy that I didn't have the typical pressure around the top, the ankle collar at the very top because of my skinny legs. So that was great. That kind of shows you how, well cushioned the material is, or at the very top of the shoe. But I made the mistake of not lacing up or like tugging on laces from the very bottom. I started at the third eyelet. And that was a mistake on my part because I found myself actually the lockdown wasn't as good as it could have been, but in the second game, in the middle of the game, I literally stopped tied up the shoe, and I usually don't do that while we're actually playing, so that was that's a bad on my part. But anyways, stepping in, lacing them up, they felt great. The first few steps, warming up with just shooting around the court and actually doing some jogs up and down the court. It felt great. I knew what to expect, I feel, in terms of the Zoom Air cushioning, but man, when you really get moving up and down the court, I was like, wow, yeah, for sure. Yeah, kind of brings back the old memories from the 90s, but also was very, very comparable to some of the modern shoes as well. So anyways, so in terms of lacing it up, yeah, it's just a straight up regular shoe, no problems there. So next, let's move on to traction. Okay, so when it comes to traction, I really don't have too much to say, and in part because the Friday night court, which was also last night on Saturday night, same location, that court is always clean, it's always in great condition, apart from when we have like humid summers or typhoons roll through. That court it's just beautiful, so it's not really a good, testing ground for traction. But anyways, the Air Jordan 12 was fantastic. I never had to wipe, nothing to worry about there. There's areas on the shoe where you have the actual herringbone in the front half and back half, and then you've got the smooth white rubber in, I guess, in the perimeter of the shoe. Whatever I was doing on the court, there was no issues there, so I can't see anybody having any kind of problems with traction. So that's fantastic when you're playing in a retro shoe, added to the fact that it's one of your favorite shoes and there's no problem with traction. So yeah, that was great. Let's move on to cushioning. Alright guys, so when it comes to the cushioning department, you've got the polyurethane insole, which yes, I do include in the cushioning category. You've got the full-length Zoom Air, and you've got the Phylon midsole carrier, and it is fantastic. It is responsive, it's low to the ground, it takes care of shock dispersion. I really don't have anything to complain about, like nothing when it comes to the cushioning department. When you push off, when you land, when you cut, when you move, man, it had me covered. So it being a 90s shoe, definitely it will give any modern shoe a run for its money. So I really hope, I've just started into this kind of review. I really hope you guys can play in this shoe, like seriously. I hope you can find a pair. This particular retro, I know they're previous years, but I've never played in them, so I can't say anything about them. But this one right here that released a month ago, I hope you can pick up a pair and play in them. They are wow, just wow. Now the transition was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It is not as smooth as some of my other shoes, but it was way better than I thought. The shape of it, you know, it's not that, you know, well rounded in the heel, but I believe the way that the Phylon is not caged on the lateral sides and medial side, it is here where the outsole of the rubber wraps up, but here it's free. So I'm pretty sure, you know, it allows the Phylon to expand, and of course you've got the Zoom Air back there. Then you go through the you know, the stiff carbon plate, and then your forefoot, which, you know, flex wise it's pretty stiff. Granted, only 2 sessions, but yeah, you know, wearing them around the house, it was like slap 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 slap. So I was like, oh boy, you know, when I go play, I hope it's, you know, a little bit smoother than that. And it was, but it I hope that it will continue to get even better. I will definitely play in these guys several more times. Who knows, maybe I might do a full performance review in a few months. But yeah, the transition, not the best, but not to the point where it kind of like put a bummer on the game or the experience of the night. You know, it was all right. It was all right. So let's talk about support, and I'm mostly going to talk about the outsole. Now that might sound kind of weird, but the reason I want to point out the outsole, to me this is just a genius in its design. The outsole is a harder rubber, 90s rubber, you know, and it actually wraps up in the midfoot on medial and lateral side, so that's kind of like cradling your foot from the bottom up. It's such a, I think it's such a great idea, great design. For sure, I mean, there are other shoes out there that utilize this, but the fact that it's like a harder, stiffer rubber, I think that's what makes the difference. Also, like, it's slick how the outsole will also wrap up in the very back of the heel, which, you know, leads its way into the heel counter. So I think that, again, in the design-wise and for functionality, is fantastic. The carbon fiber plate, it does what it does, keep the shoe torsionally rigid. Mid-top helps, you know, kind of give you that feeling of security, which I like, around my ankle. And yeah, it's just, it's funny, like, you know, it's not an overly wide shoe, but it's a very stable base. So support-wise, I really, you know, it's just like how I remembered back in the day. There's no issues in that category. I can't see anybody having issues with support in this shoe. The thing is, like, you've heard the term a million times, the thing's a tank. So yeah, support was fantastic. Lace them up and go play. So all in all, you know, after 25 years and playing in these again, I really can't complain about anything. Nothing. The Zoom Air, the cushioning system is crazy. Traction is on point. Fit and support, you know, for me, gives me a good sense of security. Yeah, I wish it could be lighter, of course. That's probably the only thing, if I could change something, was just make it lighter. But, you know, it is what it is. You're dealing with solid rubber and leather, leather all over it. So that's what the 90s was all about. So, yeah, guys, like I said earlier, if you can get a pair, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, you should go get a pair. If you play basketball, I'm not talking about, you know, wearing them out and about and stuff. I'm just saying, if you wear them, if you want to wear these on the hardwood, I highly recommend you do. Okay? Alright guys, bit of a long video, but you know, I'm so happy to bring this one to you. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, especially if you have played in them. Let me know about your experience. Oh, and maybe if you do want a full performance review, please let me know as well down below. Okay? Alright guys, thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a great day, evening, night, morning, and take care. Alright, peace.